Do-yoon's eyes burned as he stumbled through the corridor of his apartment building. The clock on his datapad showed 3:17 a.m. He had spent the last 9 hours in the university library, struggling through advanced quantum mechanics problems that made his brain feel like mush. All he wanted was his bed. The Galactic University Station Harmony floated in orbit above a beautiful blue planet called Nexus Prime. Students from 40 different alien species lived and studied here. Do-yoon had been one of the lucky humans chosen to attend. For 6 months, he had shared an apartment with his roommate Vexel, a member of the Kreth species. Vexel was tall with crystalline skin that looked like blue glass. He was quiet, polite, and kept to himself most of the time. Do-yoon reached his apartment door and pressed his thumb against the scanner. The door slid open with a soft hiss. He walked inside, not bothering to turn on the main lights. The emergency floor lights gave just enough glow to see. He walked down the short hallway and turned right, pushing open the door to what he thought was his bedroom. The lights activated automatically. Do-yoon blinked against the sudden brightness. Then he froze. This was not his room. The walls were covered with images. Holographic displays floated in the air, showing videos and data charts. But it was not the technology that made Do-yoon's heart start pounding. It was what the displays showed. Humans. Everywhere he looked, there were images of humans. Combat footage showed human soldiers in training. They ran, jumped, and fought with a speed and intensity that looked almost violent. Anatomical diagrams displayed human muscle structure, bone density, and organ systems with detailed notes in alien script. One large screen showed a rotating 3D model of a human skeleton, with red markers on various points. Do-yoon took a step forward, his exhaustion forgotten. His hands started to shake. On the left wall, historical videos played on loop. Ancient human wars, modern conflicts, footage of humans climbing mountains, diving into oceans, surviving in deserts. Each video had notes attached in glowing alien text. Do-yoon could not read Kreth script, but he recognized some of the symbols. Threat assessment markers. His eyes moved to the right wall. Psychological profiles of humans filled several screens. Behavioral analysis. Social patterns. Something that looked like a study on human emotional responses. The data was incredibly detailed, like someone had spent years collecting it. Then Do-yoon saw the map. A large holographic display in the center of the room showed planet Earth. Major cities glowed with bright markers. Lines connected various locations. Strategic positions were highlighted in red. Military bases, government centers, population hubs. It looked exactly like a tactical invasion map. Do-yoon's breath caught in his throat. His roommate had been studying humans, not just studying them casually. This was military intelligence. This was the kind of research someone did before a war. No, Do-yoon whispered to himself. No, this can't be real. He heard a sound behind him. Footsteps in the hallway. Do-yoon spun around. Vexel stood in the doorway. His crystalline face, usually calm and expressionless, now showed something Do-yoon had never seen before. The alien's eyes were wide. His hands trembled slightly. His skin had lost some of its blue glow, turning almost pale. Vexel was afraid. Do-yoon, Vexel said. His voice came through the translator device all aliens wore to communicate with other species. You should not be in here. 1. What is all this? Do-yoon asked. His voice sounded strange to his own ears. Too high. Too tight. Why do you have all this information about humans? Why do you have a map of Earth? Vexel stepped into the room and pressed a button on his wrist device. The door slid shut behind him and locked with a heavy click. The sound made Do-yoon's heart race faster. Please, Vexel said, holding up his hands. Please stay calm. I can explain. Explain what? Do-yoon pointed at the walls. Explain why you have combat analysis of my species? Explain why you have a tactical map of my home planet? Are you planning an invasion? Is that what this is? No, Vexel said quickly. Not an invasion. Please, Do-yoon. You must understand. This is not what it looks like. It looks like you have been spying on humans, Do-yoon said. His fear was turning into anger now. It looks like you have been studying us like we are some kind of threat. How long have you been doing this? Since you moved in? Was that the whole point? Get close to a human and study them? Vexel's translator made a crackling sound. The device was old and sometimes had problems. When Vexel spoke again, his words came out broken and wrong. You were not supposed, cannot know this. They will. They will what? Doyun demanded. Who is they? What are you talking about? Vexel tapped his translator and took a deep breath. When he spoke again, the device worked properly. But his words made everything worse. You were not supposed to see this, Vexel said. His voice was quiet but clear. This is classified information. I am not just a student, Doyun. I am a military analyst for the Kreth Dominion. I was sent here to evaluate humans. To study your species and file reports to my superiors. Doyun felt like the floor had dropped out from under him. You have been spying on me this whole time? On your entire species, Vexel corrected. He looked away, unable to meet Doyun's eyes. I am sorry. I truly am. But you must understand the situation. This is bigger than both of us. What situation? Doyun's hands clenched into fists. Tell me the truth. All of it. Vexel walked to one of the displays and turned it off. Then another. And another. Soon the room was darker, with only the tactical map of Earth still glowing in the center. For 2 years, the Galactic Coalition has been conducting a secret evaluation of humanity, Vexel said. He stared at the map of Earth, not looking at Doyun. Your species is being considered for either full integration into the galactic community or containment. Containment, Doyun repeated. The word tasted bitter. You mean quarantine? You mean cutting Earth off from the rest of the galaxy? Or worse, Vexel said softly. The room was silent for a long moment. Doyun could hear his own heartbeat pounding in his ears. And now that I know, Doyun said slowly. What happens to me? Vexel finally turned to look at him. The fear in the alien's eyes had not gone away. If anything, it had grown stronger. Now they will know that you discovered the truth, Vexel said. I must report this. When I do, they will detain you, question you. Make sure you have not told anyone else, and they will remove me from my assignment for failing to maintain security. And then what? Doyun asked. What happens to Earth? Vexel's translator crackled again. This time it was not a malfunction. It was emotion affecting his voice. Then they will probably accelerate the evaluation, Vexel said. They will make their decision sooner than planned. And Doyun, you must understand something important. My reports have been incomplete. What does that mean? Vexel looked at the combat footage still playing on one of the screens. Human soldiers training, fighting, never giving up even when injured. It means I have not told them the complete truth about humans, Vexel said. Because the truth is too dangerous. Not because humans are monsters, but because the galaxy is not ready for what humans really are. Doyun felt cold. You are not making sense. I know, Vexel said. He turned off the last displays, leaving only the map of Earth glowing between them. But you will understand soon. My commanding officer arrives tomorrow for an inspection. If she discovers what I have been hiding, both of us will be in serious trouble. What have you been hiding? Doyun asked. Vexel's translator made that crackling sound again. When he spoke, his words were careful and precise. The truth about why the galaxy fears humanity, Vexel said. And why they should. Doyun sat on the edge of Vexel's bed, while the alien paced back and forth. The map of Earth still glowed in the center of the room, casting blue light across both of them. Outside the window, the station's artificial sun was beginning to create a false dawn. They had been talking for 2 hours. Let me make sure I understand this correctly, Doyun said. His voice was tired but steady now. The initial shock had worn off, replaced by a strange calm. You are saying that the entire galaxy is afraid of humans? Not afraid, Vexel corrected. He stopped pacing and turned to face Doyun. Terrified. Why? Doyun spread his hands. We are not the strongest species. We do not have the most advanced technology. We only just started traveling to other stars. What is so scary about us? Vexel walked to one of his displays and activated it. The screen showed a video of a human marathon runner. The person ran and ran and ran for hours, never stopping. Other species tried to race against the human, but had to quit from exhaustion. The human kept going. This, Vexel said. Do you know what we call this ability? Endurance? Doyun guessed. Pursuit predation, Vexel said. Humans are the only known species in the galaxy that evolved as persistence hunters. On most planets, predators are faster than their prey. They sprint, catch, and kill quickly. But humans? Humans chase their prey until the prey dies from exhaustion. You are the monster that never stops coming. Doyun frowned. That was thousands of years ago. We do not hunt like that anymore. No, Vexel agreed. Now you run marathons for fun. You climb mountains because they are there. You swim across oceans to prove you can. You go to your planet's frozen poles just to see them. Doyun, do you understand how insane that sounds to other species? The alien pulled up another video. This one showed a human child petting a large dog. Humans befriend everything, Vexel continued. Dogs were once wolves, dangerous predators. Humans domesticated them. You did the same with cats, horses, and dozens of other species. You keep predators as pets. Some humans even try to befriend bears and sharks. Not all humans do that, Doyun protested. Those people are considered crazy. Exactly, Vexel said. His crystalline face somehow managed to look serious. But enough humans do it that it is a known behavior pattern. Your species has something we call pack bonding instinct. You form emotional attachments to almost anything. Other species, machines, even plants. One human on this station talks to the cleaning robots and gave them all names. Doyun felt his face grow warm. He knew exactly who Vexel was talking about. His friend Hyun Woo did that. There is more, Vexel said. He pulled up another display. This one showed Earth from space. Your planet is classified as a Class 9 hazard world. That is almost as high as the scale goes. Class 10 is a planet that immediately kills any visitor. Earth is not that dangerous, Doyun said. Doyun, your planet has massive storms that destroy entire cities, earthquakes that crack the ground open, volcanoes that bury everything in ash, waves as tall as buildings, temperature extremes from burning deserts to frozen wastelands. And that is before we talk about the diseases. Vexel pulled up a medical chart. Your bodies fight off infections that would kill most species. You have an immune system so aggressive it sometimes attacks your own body by mistake. You have bacteria living inside you that help you digest food. Other species would die from that. But we are not the only species that evolved on a dangerous planet, Doyun argued. True, Vexel admitted. But you are the only species from a Class 9 world that also developed advanced technology and space travel. Most species from dangerous planets either never develop civilization or destroy themselves in wars. Humans did both and survived anyway. He pulled up more videos. Human history, wars, weapons, destruction. Your species has nearly destroyed itself multiple times, Vexel said quietly. Nuclear weapons, chemical warfare, biological plagues. You created weapons that could end all life on your planet. And then you chose not to use them. Do you understand how strange that is? You have the power to destroy yourselves, but you decided to cooperate instead. Doyun stood up and walked to the window. The station rotated slowly, and he could see other ships docked at the ports. Ships from dozens of different species, all living and working together in peace. So the galaxy thinks we are dangerous because we are survivors, Doyun said. Because we are tough. And we do not give up. That seems like a good thing. Not a bad thing. It would be, Vexel said. If that was all you were. He pulled up one final video. This one showed a human doctor treating an injured alien. The human worked carefully, gently, speaking soft words of comfort, even though the alien could not understand the language. "This is what makes humans truly terrifying," Vexel said. "You are capable of extreme violence. Your history proves it. You have weapons, tactics, and instincts that make you natural warriors. But you are also capable of extreme compassion. You will fight to protect others. You will sacrifice yourselves for strangers. You will adopt orphaned animals from species that are not even related to you." Vexel turned off all the displays. The room was dark except for the map of Earth. "Other species are predictable," Vexel explained. "Predator species act like predators. Peaceful species act peacefully. But humans? You are both. You are predators who decided to be protectors. You are warriors who would rather make friends. You are survivors who help others survive. The galaxy has never encountered anything like you." Doyun turned away from the window. "And that is why they might quarantine Earth? Because we are too unpredictable? Because they do not know if they can trust you with power?" Vexel said. "Right now, humans are limited to your own solar system. You have a few ships, a few colonies on nearby planets. You are not a threat. But in 100 years? 1,000 years? With human determination and creativity, you could become the most powerful species in the galaxy. And no one knows if you would use that power to protect others or to conquer them." "So what happens now?" Doyun asked. "You said your commanding officer is coming tomorrow. What will she do?" Vexel sat down heavily in his chair. His crystalline skin looked duller than usual, like he was exhausted. "Admiral Thex is coming to review my reports," Vexel said. "She expects a clear recommendation. Either humans are safe enough to integrate into the Galactic Coalition, or they are too dangerous and should be contained." "And what have you been reporting?" Doyun asked. Vexel looked away. "For the first 4 months, I filed accurate reports. I documented everything I observed. Human behavior, capabilities, psychological patterns. But then what? Then I became your friend," Vexel said quietly. "I started to understand humans not as a species to be evaluated, but as people. I saw you help other students with their homework even when you were struggling with your own. I watched you share your food without asking for anything in return. I noticed how you talk to the cleaning robots like Hyun-woo does, even though you pretend not to." Doyun felt his face grow warm again. "I realized my reports were accurate but incomplete," Vexel continued. "Yes. Humans are dangerous. Yes, you are capable of violence. Yes, you come from a death world and have instincts that make other species nervous. But you are also kind, loyal, protective. You form friendships across species boundaries as easily as breathing. You are not just predators. You are not just warriors. You are something more complex." "So you stopped filing accurate reports?" Doyun asked. "I started filing false reports," Vexel admitted. "I could not bring myself to tell the complete truth because the truth is too complicated. My superiors want a simple answer. Safe or dangerous. But humans are neither. Or both. I do not know anymore." "And if Admiral Thex discovers you have been lying?" Doyun asked. Vexel's translator crackled with emotion. "Then I will be arrested for treason. You will be detained for questioning. And worst of all, Earth will almost certainly be quarantined. My false reports are the only thing keeping the Coalition from making a decision. Once they know I have been compromised, they will assume the worst about humanity." Doyun walked back to the bed and sat down. His mind raced, trying to process everything. 6 months ago, he had been excited to study at an alien university. He had dreamed of learning about other species, making friends across the stars, maybe even helping humanity join the galactic community. Now he learned that his entire species was on trial, and his roommate had been the judge. "How much time do we have?" Doyun asked. Vexel checked his data pad. "Admiral Thex arrives in 16 hours. She will conduct her inspection immediately. Can we stop her from discovering the truth?" "I do not know," Vexel said. "She is very experienced, very intelligent. If she suspects anything is wrong, she will investigate thoroughly. Doyun stood up and began pacing the way Vexel had earlier. His mind worked through the problem like it was one of his engineering assignments. There had to be a solution. There was always a solution. Then we need a plan, Doyun said. We need to convince Admiral Thex that your reports have been accurate. That humans are normal enough to not be a threat, but useful enough to be worth accepting into the coalition. How do we do that? Vexel asked. She will observe you and your friends. She will see exactly what I have been trying to hide. Maybe, Doyun said. Or maybe we show her what she expects to see while hiding what would scare her. Vexel's crystalline face somehow looked doubtful. You want to deceive an admiral who has been evaluating species for 50 years? No, Doyun said. I want to show her the truth. Just not the scary parts of the truth. We have 16 hours. Let us use them. The artificial sun had fully risen over Galactic University Station Harmony. Doyun stood outside the campus coffee shop, waiting for his friends. He had sent urgent messages to 3 other humans, asking them to meet him immediately. He told them it was an emergency but did not explain why. Now he had to figure out how to tell them that humanity's future in the stars depended on the next 15 hours. Yuna arrived first. She was a xenobiologist, one of the smartest people Doyun knew. Her black hair was tied back in a messy knot, and she carried a datapad covered in notes about alien plant life. This better be important, Yuna said. I have a lab report due tomorrow, and I have barely started. It is important, Doyun promised. Wait for the others. I only want to explain this once. Hyun-woo showed up next, carrying 2 cups of coffee. He was a medical student with a friendly smile and an ability to make friends with everyone he met. He handed 1 cup to Doyun without being asked. You look terrible, Hyun-woo said. Did you sleep at all last night? No, Doyun admitted. Long story. The last to arrive was Saman. She was older than the other 3, in her late 20s. Before coming to the university, she had served in Earth's military for 5 years. She moved with the careful awareness of someone trained to notice danger. Her eyes scanned the coffee shop, checking exits and noting who was nearby. Your message said emergency, Saman said without greeting. Define emergency. Doyun looked around. The coffee shop was busy with alien students. Too many ears, too many people who might overhear. Not here, Doyun said. Come to my apartment. Vexel needs to talk to all of us. Yuna frowned. Your roommate? Everything, Doyun said. Please, just trust me. 20 minutes later, all 4 humans sat in Vexel's room, staring at the walls of research. Doyun had asked Vexel to turn all the displays back on. He wanted his friends to see the complete picture. The combat footage, the anatomical diagrams, the tactical map of Earth. Yuna stood frozen in front of the biological analysis. Her face had gone pale. Hyun-woo stared at the videos of human soldiers, his usual smile completely gone. Saman examined the tactical map with professional interest, her military training making her understand exactly what she was looking at. This is military intelligence, Saman said quietly. Her voice was calm but cold. This is what you gather before an invasion. It is not an invasion, Vexel said quickly. He stood near the door, looking uncomfortable. It is an evaluation. An evaluation of what? Yuna turned to face the alien. How to destroy us. How to integrate you, Vexel said. Or whether to integrate you at all. Please, let me explain. For the next hour, Vexel repeated everything he had told Doyun. The secret evaluation of humanity. The fear of persistence predators from a death world. The concern about human unpredictability. The decision that had to be made about Earth's future in the galaxy. When he finished, the room was silent. Hyun-woo sat on the floor with his head in his hands. Yuna paced back and forth, her scientific mind clearly trying to process the information. Saman leaned against the wall, her face unreadable. So, we are on trial, Saman said finally. The entire human species. And you have been the spy gathering evidence. I am sorry, Vexel said. Truly, I am. I never wanted. Wanted what? Salmon interrupted. Wanted to betray the person you lived with? Wanted to decide if 7 billion humans deserve to join the galaxy or be locked away forever? What exactly did you not want? I did not want to be right about you, Vexel said. His translator crackled with emotion. My initial reports confirmed every fear the Galactic Coalition had about humans. You are everything they worried about. Strong, persistent, violent when necessary, unpredictable. But then I got to know Doyun. And through him, I started to understand that humans are more than just dangerous. You are also kind, compassionate, loyal. You form bonds with others so easily. I have been filing false reports for months because I could not figure out how to explain that humans are both the most dangerous and most caring species I have ever studied. Yuna stopped pacing. False reports? He has been protecting us, Doyun explained. Hiding the things that would make the Coalition fear us while highlighting the good parts. But his commanding officer is coming today to inspect his work. If she discovers what he has been doing, everything falls apart. How long do we have? Salmon asked. She had shifted into military mode, treating this like a tactical problem instead of an emotional one. Vexel checked the time. 14 hours. Admiral Thex arrives at 2000 hours station time. She will want to observe humans immediately to verify my reports. Then we need to pass the inspection, Salmon said. We need to act like normal, non-threatening humans. Make her think everything is fine. That is the problem, Vexel said. He pulled up some of the videos on his displays. You cannot help being human. Watch this. He played a video from 3 days ago. It showed Hyun-woo in the station cafeteria, talking to a nervous Pilthian student. Hyun-woo smiled warmly at the alien while offering to help with homework. What is wrong with that? Hyun-woo asked. I was just being friendly. You showed your teeth, Vexel said. Look at the Pilthian's reaction. In the video, the Pilthian leaned back, eyes wide. The alien's tentacles curled close to their body in a defensive posture. Showing teeth is a threat display in most species, Vexel explained. Predators bare their teeth before they attack. Humans smile by showing teeth. Every time you smile, other species think you are threatening them. That is insane, Hyun-woo protested. I smile at everyone. I cannot just stop smiling. That is exactly my point, Vexel said. You cannot stop being human. And the things that make you human are the things that scare other species. He pulled up another video. This one showed Yuna in her xenobiology class, giving a presentation about Earth's animals. I remember this, Yuna said. I was talking about biodiversity. Listen to what you said, Vexel told her. In the video, Yuna's voice was cheerful and excited. Earth has such amazing predators. Bears can weigh over 600 kilograms and run at 50 kilometers per hour. Sharks can smell blood from kilometers away. Crocodiles can hold their breath for hours while waiting to ambush prey. Are they not fascinating? The camera showed the other students in the class. Most of them looked horrified. One alien appeared to be having trouble breathing. You described terrifying killing machines as amazing and fascinating, Vexel said. You talked about predators the way other species talk about cute pets. The other students had nightmares for days. Yuna's face turned red. I did not mean to scare them. I just think Earth's biodiversity is interesting. That is the problem, Vexel said gently. You think predators are interesting. Other species think they are monsters. To you, a planet full of things trying to kill you is normal. To everyone else, it is a horror world. He pulled up a final video. This one showed all 4 humans in the station gym. Salmon was teaching the others self-defense moves. They moved quickly, efficiently, demonstrating strikes and blocks. Look at your physical capabilities, Vexel said. Humans have excellent hand-eye coordination, fast reaction times, strong muscles for your body size, and you train to fight even when there is no war. Just for fun. For fitness. Other species, look at this and see a warrior race preparing for battle. Salmon studied the video carefully. I see your point. We look dangerous even when we are just exercising. Exactly, Vexel said. Admiral Thex will observe you doing normal human things. Smiling. Talking about your home planet. Exercising. And every normal thing you do will confirm that humans are exactly as dangerous as the Coalition fears. The room fell silent again. Doyun looked at his friends. They all understood the problem now. They could not stop being human. And being human meant being scary to the rest of the galaxy. Wait, Doyun said suddenly. What if we show her humans interacting with other species positively? Building friendships? Helping others? We can demonstrate that yes, we are strong, but we use that strength to protect people, not hurt them. Vexel considered this. That might work. If she sees humans forming genuine bonds with aliens, it would support the parts of my reports that emphasize human compassion and loyalty. I can help with that, Hyunwoo said. I know students from a dozen different species. I help them with their homework all the time. We can show her humans being helpful and friendly, and I can demonstrate human scientific contributions, Yuna added. I have been working with several alien researchers on cross-species botanical studies. We can show her humans cooperating on important research. I can coordinate everything, Salmon said. Make sure we present ourselves properly, control what she sees, and when she sees it. They spent the next 2 hours planning. Vexel explained what Admiral Thex would look for and what would raise suspicions. The humans practiced behaving in ways that were friendly but not threatening. Hyunwoo learned to smile with his mouth closed. Yuna prepared to talk about Earth's ecology without making it sound terrifying. Salmon organized a schedule that would show humans at their best. They were so focused on their planning that no one noticed the alert on Vexel's datapad. A message from the station docking control. Admiral Thex's ship had arrived early. She was already on the station, and she had brought someone with her. Commander Wraith, another Kreth officer. A hardliner who believed humans should be contained immediately. Vexel's translator crackled as he read the message. We have a problem. Admiral Thex is already here. And she brought Wraith with her. Who is Wraith? Doyun asked. Someone who will not be convinced by friendly demonstrations, Vexel said. His crystalline face looked grim. Someone who already believes humans are too dangerous to trust. And he has just started conducting his own observations. Outside the window, a priority alert flashed across the station's communication system. All human students were requested to report to the main common area immediately for a routine gathering. It was obviously not routine. It was Admiral Thex giving them no time to prepare. What do we do? Yuna asked. Salmon stood up and moved toward the door. We go to the gathering. We act natural. And we hope that 14 hours of planning can somehow work in the next 2 hours instead. The 4 humans left Vexel's room and headed toward the common area. None of them saw the small security drone following them. The drone that belonged to Commander Wraith. The drone that was recording everything they did, looking for proof that humans were exactly as dangerous as he believed. In the common area, human students were gathering, confused and nervous. They did not know why they had been called. They did not know they were being evaluated. They just knew something felt wrong. Admiral Thex stood at the front of the room, her tall Kreeth form imposing and official. Next to her, Commander Wraith watched the humans with eyes that saw only threats. The evaluation had begun. Admiral Thex was nothing like Doyun expected. He had imagined someone cold and threatening, maybe wearing battle armor and carrying weapons. Instead, the Kreeth Admiral wore a simple uniform and stood with calm patience. Her crystalline skin was darker than Vexel's, almost purple instead of blue. Her eyes were sharp and intelligent. She looked like someone who had seen everything the galaxy had to offer, and was no longer surprised by any of it. Commander Wraith was different. He stood rigid next to the Admiral. His posture military perfect. His eyes moved constantly, watching every human in the room. His hand rested near a small device on his belt, some kind of weapon or recording tool. Doyun could not tell which. About 30 human students had gathered in the common area. Most of them looked confused. A few looked nervous. No one except Doyun, Yuna, Hyunwoo, And Salmon knew what was really happening. Admiral Thex raised one hand and the room fell silent. "I apologize for the short notice," the Admiral said. Her translator was much better than Vexel's. Her voice sounded warm and friendly. "I am Admiral Thex of the Kreth Dominion, and I oversee cultural integration for the Galactic Coalition. I am here to observe how human students are adapting to life on the station. This is routine. Nothing to be concerned about." It was not routine. Doyun knew that. Everyone knew that. But no one could say anything. "Please continue with your normal activities," Admiral Thex continued. "Pretend I am not here. I simply wish to observe and perhaps ask a few questions." The humans slowly returned to what they had been doing. Some went back to studying. Others talked in small groups. A few headed to the recreation area. Doyun noticed that Salmon had positioned herself near the door, casually blocking the easiest exit. Military training made her think about tactical positions even now. Admiral Thex walked among the human students. She stopped to watch a group playing a card game. She observed two students helping each other with homework. She listened to conversations without interrupting. Commander Wraith followed behind her, his security drone hovering near his shoulder. The small machine recorded everything. After 30 minutes, the Admiral approached Doyun. "You are Doyun Kim," she said. It was not a question. She knew exactly who he was. Vexel's roommate. "Yes, Admiral," Doyun said. He tried to keep his voice steady. "I have read Analyst Vexel's reports about you," Admiral Thex said. "He seems to think highly of you. Says you are intelligent, helpful, and adapt well to living with other species. Is that accurate?" "I try my best," Doyun said carefully. Admiral Thex studied him with those sharp eyes. "Tell me, Doyun, what do you think of the galactic community? Are you happy here?" It was a trap question. Doyun knew it. If he said yes too quickly, she would think he was lying. If he said no, she would think humans were unhappy and potentially dangerous. He needed to give an honest answer that did not sound suspicious. "I am happy to be here," Doyun said slowly. "But it is also challenging. Everything is new. Different. Sometimes I miss Earth. Sometimes I feel like I do not fit in. But I am learning. We are all learning." Admiral Thex nodded. "An honest answer. I appreciate that." She turned to observe the other humans. "Your species is young to space travel. Only a few decades since you left your own planet. Most species take centuries to reach this point. Does it ever feel like humanity moved too fast? Like perhaps you were not ready?" Another trap question. Doyun thought carefully before answering. "Maybe," he said. "But humans have always moved fast. We learn by doing, not by waiting until we are perfect. Yes, we make mistakes, but we also adapt quickly. I think that is just who we are. Adapt or die," Commander Wraith said suddenly. It was the first time he had spoken. "Is that not what humans say? Survival of the fittest?" Doyun felt tension coil in his stomach. "Some humans say that. But others say we are stronger together. That we survive by helping each other. Not by fighting." "Pretty words," Commander Wraith said. "Let me ask you something more direct. If the Galactic Coalition went to war tomorrow, would humans fight? Would you fight?" The common area had gone quiet. Other humans were listening now. So were the few aliens in the room. "That depends on the war," Doyun said carefully. "If someone attacked Earth or our allies, yes, we would fight. If it was a war of aggression, no, we would refuse. Humans fight to protect, not to conquer." How convenient," Commander Wraith said. "You frame your violence as protection. That is what all predator species say." "Commander," Admiral Thex said quietly. It was not loud, but there was authority in her voice. "That is enough." Commander Wraith stepped back, but his eyes remained locked on Doyun. The message was clear. He did not believe humans could be trusted. Before anyone could say more, an alarm blared through the station. Emergency sirens. Red lights flashed in the corridors. A voice came over the speakers. Structural failure in Common Area 2. Support beam collapse. Multiple casualties. Emergency teams respond immediately. Admiral Thex's hand went to her communication device. What happened? A panicked voice responded. Construction accident, Admiral. A support beam gave way during maintenance. 3 students trapped under debris. 2 Pilthian. 1 Valkorian. Unknown injuries. Admiral Thex turned to leave, but Salmon was already moving. She ran toward the door, and without thinking, Do-Yun followed. So did Yuna and Hyun-Woo. So did 6 other human students. Wait, Admiral Thex called out. Where are you going? But the humans did not wait. They ran through the corridors toward Common Area 2. Do-Yun heard Commander Wraith behind them, shouting something about remaining calm, following procedure, waiting for emergency teams. The humans ignored him. They reached Common Area 2 in less than 3 minutes. The scene was chaos. A massive metal support beam had fallen from the ceiling during maintenance work. It had crashed through tables and chairs, creating a disaster zone of twisted metal and broken furniture. Alien students stood around the edges, scared and confused. Some were crying. Others were trying to pull at the debris but could not lift it. Under the debris, Do-Yun could see movement. Trapped aliens trying to get free. We need to lift the beam, Salmon shouted. She was already assessing the situation with military efficiency. Hyun-Woo. Yuna, on this side. Do-Yun. Get 3 more people on the other side. The rest of you clear a path so we can drag the injured out once the beam is up. You cannot lift that, an alien student said. It weighs too much. We need to wait for the emergency teams with proper equipment. No time, Salmon said. Someone could be bleeding. Get in position. Now. The humans moved without questioning. They took positions around the fallen beam. Do-Yun gripped the cold metal along with 2 other human students. The beam was heavy. Impossibly heavy. The kind of thing that needed machinery to move. On 3, Salmon called out. 1, 2, 3. Lift. Do-Yun pulled with everything he had. His muscles screamed. His hands slipped on the smooth metal. For a moment, nothing happened. The beam was too heavy. They could not move it. Then it shifted. Just a little. Just enough. Keep going, Salmon shouted. Do not stop. They lifted. Slowly. Impossibly. The beam rose. Do-Yun felt something pull in his shoulder. But he did not stop. Could not stop. There were people trapped underneath. That was all that mattered. The beam lifted higher. Other humans rushed in to pull the injured aliens out from under the debris. Yuna grabbed a Pilthian student and dragged them to safety. Hyun-Woo helped a Valkorian, being careful of the alien's delicate wing structure. Got them, someone shouted. Everyone is clear. Drop it, Salmon ordered. The humans released the beam. It crashed back down, with a sound like thunder. Do-Yun collapsed to his knees, breathing hard. His shoulder throbbed with pain. His hands were cut and bleeding from the sharp metal edges, but the trapped students were safe. Hyun-Woo was already checking them for injuries, his medical training taking over. Yuna was calling for medical teams. The other humans had formed a perimeter, keeping panicked onlookers back to give the injured space. Do-Yun looked up. Admiral Thex stood in the doorway. She had arrived just in time to see everything. Her face was unreadable. Next to her, Commander Wraith held his security drone. It had recorded the entire incident. The humans had just demonstrated exactly what Vexel had been trying to hide. Their physical strength, their organization, their willingness to act without waiting for permission, their ability to work together like a trained military unit, even though most of them had never met before. They had just proven they were dangerous. Admiral Thex walked slowly into the room. She looked at the beam, then at the humans, then at the rescued aliens. Hyun-Woo was bandaging a Pilthian student's injuries while speaking softly. You are okay now. Just stay still. Help is coming. You are safe. The Pilthian student looked up at Hyun-Woo with wide, grateful eyes. Despite their pain, they reached out and touched Hyun-Woo's hand in thanks. Remarkable. Admiral Thex said quietly. She turned to Commander Wraith. Did you record all of that? Yes, Admiral, Wraith said. His voice was tight. Clear evidence of human capabilities. Strength, coordination, rapid response to danger. They moved like trained soldiers. They moved like people trying to save lives, Admiral Thex corrected. There is a difference. Is there? Wraith challenged. Look at them, Admiral. They just lifted a beam that should require heavy machinery. They organized themselves in seconds. They did not hesitate. Did not wait for proper authority. What happens when humans decide to use that strength for something other than rescue? What happens when they organize against us instead of for us? Admiral Thex did not answer. She walked over to Do-Yun, who was still on his knees, catching his breath. You are injured, the Admiral observed, looking at his bleeding hands and the way he favored his left shoulder. I am fine, Do-Yun said. You are hurt, but you say you are fine, Admiral Thex said. Why? Because others were hurt worse, Do-Yun said simply. My injuries can wait. The Admiral studied him for a long moment. Then she turned and walked away, Commander Wraith following behind her. The security drone continued recording everything. Vexel appeared in the doorway. He looked at the disaster. At the injured aliens being treated by humans. At Do-Yun's bleeding hands. His crystalline face showed an emotion Do-Yun had never seen before. Not fear, not anger. Something sadder. Resignation, maybe. The look of someone who knew they had lost. Medical teams arrived and took over treating the injured. The humans were ordered to report to the medical bay to have their own injuries examined. As they left Common Area 2, Do-Yun overheard two alien students talking. Did you see that? One whispered. The humans just lifted that beam like it was nothing. I know, the other responded. They are stronger than they look. Much stronger. That is concerning. But they saved those students, the first one said. If the humans had not acted so fast, those people might have died. I know that too, the second alien said quietly. That is what makes this so confusing. Are humans heroes or threats? I cannot tell anymore. Do-Yun understood the feeling. He could not tell either, and apparently, neither could Admiral Thex. The inspection was not over. But Do-Yun knew one thing for certain now. The next few hours would decide humanity's future. Do-Yun sat alone in a small conference room. His shoulder had been treated at the medical bay. The doctors said it was just a strain. Nothing serious. His hands were bandaged. The cuts were not deep. Physically, he would be fine in a few days. Mentally, he was exhausted. It had been 30 hours since he accidentally walked into Vexel's room. 30 hours of revelations, planning, and disaster. Now he waited for Admiral Thex to call him. She had requested a private meeting. Just the two of them. No other humans. No Commander Wraith. No Vexel. The door opened. Admiral Thex entered and sat across from Do-Yun. She placed a small device on the table between them. This room is now sealed and shielded, she said. No one can hear us. No one can record us. What we say here will remain private unless one of us chooses to share it. Do you understand? Yes, Admiral, Do-Yun said. Good. She leaned back in her chair and studied him. Tell me something, Do-Yun. Did Vexel warn you I was coming? Do-Yun felt his heart speed up. This was it. The question that could expose everything. If he lied and she knew, it would be over. If he told the truth, Vexel would be arrested. He decided to take a risk. Admiral Thex had asked for privacy. Maybe she wanted honesty more than she wanted confirmation of her suspicions. Yes, Do-Yun said. He told me last night. After I accidentally walked into his room and saw all his research. Admiral Thex showed no surprise. I suspected as much. And what did you do after learning you were being evaluated? I helped him try to hide it from you, Do-Yun admitted. We planned how to present humans in a way that would not scare you. We failed, obviously. The incident in Common Area 2 showed you exactly what humans are capable of. It showed me something, Admiral Thex agreed, but perhaps not what you think. She activated a holographic display on the table. It showed the footage from Commander Wraith's drone, the humans lifting the beam, organizing the rescue, treating the injured. Do you know what I see when I watch this? The Admiral asked. Humans being dangerous, Do-yoon said quietly. I see humans being human, Admiral Thex said. Commander Wraith sees a threat. He sees strength, coordination, the instinct to act rather than wait for orders. He thinks these traits make you unpredictable and therefore dangerous. She paused the video at the moment when the beam first lifted. All the humans straining together, their faces showing pain and determination. But I have been evaluating species for 50 years, Admiral Thex continued. I have seen truly dangerous species. Conquerors. Predators who view other life as prey. Species that take what they want, without mercy. Do you know what those species have in common? No, Admiral. They do not risk themselves to save others, she said simply. A true predator species would have waited for emergency teams. Why risk injury helping aliens they barely know? A conqueror species would have used the accident as an opportunity to demonstrate power and demand something in return. But humans? You just helped. No hesitation. No calculation. You saw people in danger and you acted. She pulled up more footage. This time it showed Hyun-woo treating the injured Pilthian student. The gentleness in his movements. The way he spoke, soft words of comfort. Even though the alien could not understand him. Commander Wraith thinks your strength makes you dangerous, Admiral Thex said. But strength is only dangerous when combined with cruelty or selfishness. Humans have strength. Yes. But you also have compassion. That combination is not dangerous. It is invaluable. Do-yoon felt hope rising in his chest, but he tried to keep it contained. Then you do not think humans should be quarantined? I did not say that. Admiral Thex turned off the display and looked directly at Do-yoon. I need you to understand something important. The Galactic Coalition has known about humanity for 60 years. Since your first satellite transmissions reached our listening posts, we have been watching, monitoring, waiting. 60 years? Do-yoon felt shock wash over him. You have been watching us for 60 years? Yes. Long before humans developed faster than light travel, long before you built stations or colonies, we watched you fight wars. We watched you create weapons capable of destroying your own planet. We watched you pollute your world, then work to save it. We watched you nearly destroy yourselves several times, and we watched you choose to cooperate instead. Every time humanity reached a crisis point, we waited to see what you would do. Why? Do-yoon asked. Why not make contact? Why not help us? Because we needed to know what humans would become without outside influence, Admiral Thex said. Would you destroy yourselves? Would you conquer your neighbors if you reached the stars? Or would you grow into something worth accepting into the galactic community? We had to wait and see. She stood and walked to the window. Outside, the station rotated slowly. Ships from dozens of species came and went. The evaluation Vexel was conducting was not the first contact with humanity, Admiral Thex explained. It was the final test. We already knew humans were strong. We knew you came from a death world. We knew you had warrior instincts. What we did not know was whether humans could form genuine bonds with aliens. Whether you could be trusted with power. Whether you would use your strength to protect or to dominate. And you sent Vexel to find out, Do-yoon said. We sent 12 analysts, Admiral Thex corrected. Vexel was just one of them. Each was assigned to live with a human. To observe. To report. To determine if humanity was ready. What did they report? Do-yoon asked. 11 of them filed reports saying humans were too dangerous, Admiral Thex said. Too unpredictable. Too strong. Too likely to become a threat in the future. They recommended quarantine until humanity evolved past its violent instincts. That would take thousands of years, maybe tens of thousands. By then, most of your current culture would be lost. But the galaxy would be safe. And Vexel? Do-yoon asked. though he already knew the answer. Vexel filed different reports, Admiral Thex said. For the first 4 months, his reports matched the others. Then something changed. He started reporting that humans were complex, that you had dangerous traits but also valuable ones, that humans formed genuine friendships across species boundaries, that you were loyal, protective, willing to sacrifice for others. His reports became less about threat assessment and more about potential value. She turned back to face Do-yoon. His superiors noticed the change. They suspected he had been compromised, that he had let personal feelings cloud his judgment. That is why I am here, to determine if Vexel's later reports were accurate or if he had been deceived by a clever human. And the inspection? Do-yoon asked. The accident in Common Area 2? The accident was real, Admiral Thex said. But it was useful. It showed me how humans react in a crisis. Commander Wraith thinks it proved humans are dangerous. He wants to recommend immediate quarantine. But I disagree. She sat back down and looked at Do-yoon with those sharp, intelligent eyes. I think humans are exactly what Vexel reported in his later analysis, Admiral Thex said. You are strong, yes. Capable of violence, yes. From a brutal world, yes. But you are also compassionate, loyal, willing to risk yourselves for others, even aliens you barely know. That combination of traits is not dangerous. It is exactly what the galaxy needs. What do you mean? Do-yoon asked. The Galactic Coalition controls most of known space, Admiral Thex explained. But there are frontier regions we have not explored. Dangerous areas with hostile environments, unknown threats, and difficult conditions. Most species cannot survive in these regions. They are too harsh, too unpredictable. We need explorers who are tough enough to endure, smart enough to adapt, and brave enough to take risks. We need humans. She pulled up a star map. It showed the galaxy with the Coalition territory marked in blue. Vast regions on the edges were marked in red. These are the frontier zones, Admiral Thex said. If humanity joins the Coalition, these would be your territories to explore and settle. Dangerous work, many species would see it as punishment. But I think humans would thrive there. Your death world instincts would be an advantage, not a liability. And if we refuse? Do-yoon asked. What if humanity does not want to join the Coalition? Then Earth would be left alone, Admiral Thex said. No contact. No trade. No sharing of technology or culture. The galaxy would simply ignore you for another century or two. By then, either you would have matured enough to join safely, or you would have destroyed yourselves and the problem would be solved. That is a terrible choice, Do-yoon said. Join and risk our people in dangerous territories, or be isolated forever. There is a third option, Admiral Thex said. Restricted contact. Limited trade and cultural exchange. You would stay in your current territory, allowed to grow slowly under supervision. Safe, but contained. Never fully part of the galactic community. Do-yoon thought about each option. Full integration meant danger, but also freedom and opportunity. Isolation meant safety, but also loneliness and stagnation. Restricted contact was a middle ground that pleased no one. Which would you recommend? Do-yoon asked. That is not my decision, Admiral Thex said. That is humanity's decision. I am simply here to present the options. But I will tell you what I think. She leaned forward, her expression serious. I think humans should choose full integration, she said. I think you should take the dangerous path, not because I want to risk human lives, but because I believe humanity will transform the frontier zones. You will explore where others cannot. You will survive where others would perish. And most importantly, you will bring your unique perspective. Humans see predators and think, fascinating, instead of terrifying. You befriend species that should be enemies. You protect those weaker than yourselves. The galaxy needs that perspective, especially in the dangerous places. And Vexel? Do-yoon asked. What happens to him? His reports were not unauthorized, Admiral Thex said, surprising Do-yoon. He was specifically chosen because we thought he might form a genuine friendship with a human. His mission was to see if cross-species bonding was possible. The friendship you two developed was real. And it was exactly what we needed to see. So he was never in trouble? Do-yoon felt a mix of relief and confusion. Oh, he is definitely in trouble, Admiral Thek said with something that might have been amusement. He should have reported your discovery of his research immediately. Instead, he tried to hide it, but his crime is minor compared to what we learned from it. What did you learn? That when a human discovered he was being evaluated, his first instinct was not violence or demands or panic, Admiral Thek said. His first instinct was to work with the alien who had been spying on him. To trust. To cooperate. To find a solution together. That tells me more about humanity than 1,000 reports ever could. She stood and deactivated the privacy field around the room. The conversation was over. I will present my report to the Coalition in 1 week, Admiral Thek said. I will recommend full integration. But the final decision belongs to Earth's government. And to humans like you. Choose wisely, Do-yoon. The choice you make will shape humanity's future for thousands of years. She walked to the door, then paused. One more thing. If humanity chooses full integration, we would like to request that Vexel serve as Earth's official liaison, someone who understands both humans and aliens, someone who has proven he can build genuine friendships across species boundaries. Would you support that appointment? Do-yoon smiled. Yes, Admiral, I would. 6 months later, Do-yoon stood on an observation deck with Vexel. Below them, 3 human ships prepared for departure. They were heading to the frontier zones, the first human explorers to venture into the dangerous territories at the edge of known space. Volunteers who wanted to see what was out there, who wanted to help expand the boundaries of civilization. Yuna was on one of the ships, leading a xenobiology research team. Hyun-woo had joined as a medical officer, ready to provide care in harsh environments. Salmon commanded the security detail, putting her military experience to use protecting the expedition. Are you worried? Vexel asked. His translator no longer crackled. He had gotten a better one for his new position as Earth's liaison. A little, Do-yoon admitted. The frontier is dangerous. They might not all come back. They knew the risks, Vexel said. Humans always know the risks. You do it anyway. That is what makes us human, Do-yoon said. He watched the ships begin their departure sequence. We see danger and we run toward it. Not away. We see challenges and we accept them. We see the unknown, and we want to explore it. Some species call that insanity, Vexel said. Some humans call it that too, Do-yoon agreed. But we do it anyway. The ships launched, their engines bright against the darkness of space. They accelerated quickly, heading toward the edge of Coalition territory and beyond. Toward danger and discovery. Toward the frontier. The galaxy will never be the same, Vexel said quietly. Is that good or bad? Do-yoon asked. Both, Vexel said. Just like humans. You are both blessing and curse. Dangerous and compassionate. Predators and protectors. The galaxy was not ready for you, but I think you are exactly what we needed. Do-yoon smiled. You were right, you know. That night when I walked into your room, you said the galaxy was not ready for humans. I was wrong about one thing, Vexel said. I thought that was a problem. But it is not. The galaxy does not need species it is ready for. It needs species that will push boundaries, take risks, and transform the frontier into something new. It needs humans. They watched in silence as the ships disappeared into the distance, heading toward unknown dangers, carrying human courage, human determination, and human hope to the edges of explored space. Behind them, the station continued its slow rotation. Aliens and humans moving through the corridors together, learning from each other, building friendships across the stars, creating something new. The future was uncertain. The frontier was dangerous. But humanity had made its choice. To reach for the stars. To help rather than conquer. To explore rather than hide. To be predators who decided to become guardians. And the galaxy would never be the same again.